Hey guys, it's FallenDice, and welcome to episode 32 of FallenDice Plays Better Than Buildcraft. And yes, we are back in the NPC village because it's time to go down and get back to work on our sheep shearing facility. And I have to tell you, this thing has been a project. But I think we're starting to see towards the light at the end of the tunnel, and I think when it's all done and completed, it's going to be pretty cool. So, I think we'll just go ahead and head back down, join right back up where we were leaving off at the last episode, and hopefully we can knock this sucker out. Knock this sucker out. Hopefully we can finish this project. Um, I'd like to be able to get this all done and actually do a full demonstration of it with all the sheet bays and everything. So we'll see what we can get done here. So anyway, let's head back down and get back to work. All right. Man, this project is probably the most difficult and probably the most headache-inducing thing that I have done to this point. And at that, I'm not even done yet. I had to even ripped this thing a couple different times because I thought it was doing good. I thought they were all staying where they were supposed to. And then every now and then one would get out, it would mess it up, and I'm like, well, that can't happen. I mean, if even one of these gets out, messes it up, what's the point of having this whole room over there if I'm gonna have to walk out? And a couple times I really thought I just was gonna have to scrap this, come up with something else for take the place of all these episodes and stuff. But the thing that kept happening was I would go back to my creative world, and they never got out of that little prototype I built ever. I mean, I probably logged in and out 15 times in a row. It never happened. And then I think one of these times when I came back in, I was trying to make sure I'd even taken out the grass block. You know, I thought maybe it was because if it was landing on the piston itself, that would work. And it seemed like it. I thought I was ready to go for it. Realized that they only eat the block below them, so having grass around them wasn't helping. Um, and then I watched one just pop out sideways. And I went over to look, and I realized that I had glass blocks around them up here, but down here I didn't. So, on a whim, I decided to put grass blocks on the side here, and I have not had one get out since. And I think I've logged in and out 10 times in a row on here. I have it right out set up now, so I just flip this or hit this button here, and it just sends them out one time. Oh, come on, get closer. I hate how. So we hit it just one time here, and it sends them back in. And there's another problem here, but I'll go into that in a second. But you see right there, they're eating. So at least with this, the way this setup is right now, they will eat. And they seem to, even when they get out, they get caught back in, and everything's good here. The only problem is, unlike before where there's one, when this thing first launches, if you watch this, let me go back down and launch this real fast. So you see, there's nobody here. So when he comes back and trips this, which is disconnected right now, and lands, the one that's over there moves over, and so there's a gap in between. So it doesn't, or it can't run fully automatic. It has to, like, after 10 it stops, because the last one won't drop, but as he comes in he fills the spot, and the next one comes in and gets ready to, but it doesn't drop down, so it stops the system. So I did come up with a way to make this work. Again, when I put redstone down here, the detector block or detector rail will set all the pistons, but it'll also send the signal over here, full delay, into the block detector. And the block detector, this wool from killing. But the block dispenser. I'm so tired. I'm frazzled. I was so happy I got to this point. will spit out blocks. I have 10 transparent blocks and 1 full block. So it goes through here on the last one. When the last one comes through here, I gotta make a spot to get back up. When the last one comes through here, full block comes in, sends a signal over here. Again, we got delays, and we actually end up with another one over here and here. But what ends up happening is the last one comes in, goes into place, but obviously there's not one to drop in here. The delay to turn this on takes a little bit. Block comes out, comes over here, delay, comes over, and then it kicks all the pistons one more time, and it sets the whole thing back in motion again. So you can basically have this go indefinitely, but the only issue is I'm going to have to leave access to this. Just want a way out of here. I probably broke my rail. I did. I'm going to have to leave access to this so I can come in and reset it by hand, and maybe I'll probably just leave the block on there so I can kind of reach down, so I can go like this, because unfortunately I'll have to do that if I need to change change colors. So I will have to be able to come out, but I'm okay with that. That's unless someone can come up with a way to around this, just because if I stop this mid process, you know, because there's no way I'm able to tell when I'm at the 10th one to turn it off. So when I turn this off, it's going to stop somewhere in the middle. You know, actually I don't, because even if it does stop in the middle, the blocks will be set to the same numbers. Alright, this may work. I still have to find a way to turn it off without turning off the junction here, so the last one will make it up into there. So I got a little more thinking, but actually I'm feeling a little bit better now about this working. I just gonna have to maybe come up with a delay on the initial turning this on. Okay. Alright, so I think I have this figured out finally. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you real quick how we've got this designed to work now. We have our redstone signal coming down here from the blocks, the wool selector switch, not the on-off, the wool selector, and that comes here into our pulse generator. The actual pulse generator part comes off of here. This part here is off in the middle, so whenever we have it turned on, we're going to have power coming through here. If we have it turned off, we won't have power. So when it's on, this redstone torch is deactivated, which allows this one to be activated, and up above is our entrance into this pod. So it changes the track direction to allow the sheep to come back into this pod section to keep all the colors together. At the same time, when it's turned on, because this pulse generator is only activated when you turn it on, not turn it off. But when you turn it on, it's going to send a pulse down through here into this block. On the back side of this block, we have it coming over to here, where it's getting this torch. So when we have this powered, this torch will turn off, which turns off all power to all of this here. And you see above each one of those is our piston. So this is going to retract the pistons momentarily and allow all of our sheep to move forward one space. And that's just to get the thing started. Again, like I said, this only flashes the moment we turn on the wool selector. Then over here underneath this block, or above this block, is our detector rail. So when they come back over it, they're going to power the redstone here, which goes into that block and has a redstone torch in the back of it. So when a sheep comes back and activates it, that will turn off. And as long as that is off and this block is off, it's going to power this redstone torch, which once again is going to send power into here, turning this one off and advancing everyone forward. This is coming from our on-off switch. That redstone we had running back over there is coming all the way underneath here. So as long as the on-off switch is on, and we have this wool selection set to on, these will both. It'll allow the detector rail to power this redstone torch and advance them forward. Still have the same problem of after 10 it's going to stop because there is that gap that's created when the first one starts. So what we have is this here. And inside here we still, once again, have our 10 transparent blocks, 1 solid block. Every time this is turned off, this will turn on and will put out one of our slabs. So after 10 sheep go all the way through here, this is going to get to the 10th block, and it's going to advance 2 at the same time. So even if you stop it in the middle, the gap's going to be over there. And I have to check this out. Dang it. Now that I think about it, I still need to go 10, because if I stop in the middle, I might have 2 sheeps on top of each other. Oh, this thing gets so complicated. All right, let me look at that real fast. I'll be right back. Well, anyway, if it doesn't, then we can go with this. But anyway, so like I said, as after 10 times through here, it'll put up the solid block, which will then send this signal through here, and once again activate it again. So it'll push them all ahead forward again, and it will bring us back up to where we're moving. So this will allow us to continue to work without stopping. So yeah, and I think what I may end up having to do is something to stop this. Maybe having the on-off switch. That's what I can do. In addition to it going over to here and turning the gate off, I can also have it powering over to here. So if I turn it off, there will no longer be power here. So after it goes through all 10 of the sheep, they'll stop. So I'm still gonna have to wait for it to go to 10, but at least, yeah, at least I won't have to worry about it them doubling up. And then yeah, so okay, I may have to come out here and manually reset this afterwards, but this will still, it'll allow me to run indefinitely, let them keep moving through over and over and over and over without having to stand there and keep turning it on. And yeah, okay, all right, that works. So I'm going to go ahead and actually do that right now. I'm going to run the signal that's going into this one right here. I'm also going to run it over to here, and that way I can turn it off. And then the way this will work is once you're done collecting a certain color of wool, you'll turn off the on-off switch. When that happens, this is going to power on, so no matter what, when they come through here, they won't be able to let me think about this. All right. My workaround solutions. So first off, now when you apply power to the block selector, even if the on-off switch is off, you're going to start the system. And what it means now, this is still going to turn the rail to allow use of this, but it's also going to come over here and turn off this block. So no longer is this block turned off from down below by vertical wiring from the on-off. It's turned off by turning on the block selector switch. The initial pulse is still going to start the system, and then after that, each time one comes around, hits our detector rail, it'll once again push everybody forward. So the setup as it is now is when you turn on a block selector switch, you basically have turned it on for 10 blocks of wool or 10 sheep to go through, and then it will stop. If you want more, then you hit the on-off switch, and what that's going to do is that's going to turn on this redstone torch. If that on-off switch is off, this torch will be off, and our block detector, or I mean our block dispenser, even when it spits out a full block, it will not power this to push them all forward one more time. So it's useless. If that on-off switch is not turned on, this is useless. If you decide you want to go for basically a lot of wool, like if I have a project where I need stacks and stacks of one color, then I can turn this switch on. This block or this redstone torch will get lit, and now every time after all 10 sheep come through, it'll reset it one more time, push them all forward, and it will allow us to continually harvest the one color of wool. Um, Once you're done now, what you do is, if I'm doing a lot, I would then turn off the block dispenser again, and then after all of the sheep are through, they'll get stopped in that final position where there won't be one to drop, and it'll shut off by itself. Once I have no more sheep coming, then I'll just turn off the lever. Um, I wish there was a different way I could do it, but I think that is the way that's going to work the best and have the least amount of issues. And it still works the way I want it to. I mean, I can still do it all from inside the control room. I just can't stop it off at any time I want to. If it just started the thing, I'll have to wait for 9 more sheep to come through. But honestly, considering how nice this is going to be and how automated it's going to be, I can handle waiting for a few extra sheep. All right, it's been a long day. I have been working for this for hours because I am a very stubborn person. And I'm glad I am, because when I initially thought that maybe this just wasn't possible, I eventually figured out what the problem was, and I've got a workable solution. Also, I needed more room down here, and that's funny. Sometimes I just forget that I am playing better than Buildcraft, which does have better than Wolves, and there are cool little additions that I can use, like the lens, which allowed me to do a straight vertical down instead of the stair step, which opened up a whole lot more room down here. I was going to do something over here with the pulse lengthener, but I didn't end up doing over there because I had to have it on both parts of this. So right now this is just empty space. Um, but anyway, I also decided to use the white wool for neatness. So we have our signal coming in. When we turn the switch on, powers the lens, detector block gets it, sends it over to here, and here's our pulse generator again. The output of the pulse generator comes underneath here, through that block there, and once again goes over to power or depower our pistons. It now goes through a pulse lengthener, which I will explain shortly. In addition, again, we have the when the power's on, this part of the generator has a steady power, so I use that to come over here to turn this on and off, and this once again is the rail, the junction rail, so when we have it on, that's when we send our sheep back and forth into this pod. I'm no longer using the signal coming off of that switch for the wool switch to power the AND gate, and that's because of this little bad boy here, but I will show that in a sec. So once again, the on-off switch now coming from under here goes into this, and when that's turned on, this is off, and that way whenever the detector rail powers, this will be off, powers this redstone torch, which once again through our pulse lengthener comes over here, and we'll retract all of our pistons and everybody moves around. Now I'm going to go up to show why this pulse lengthener is important. The issue I kept having was them not advancing and getting stuck. And I tried a lot of things. I thought maybe it was because I had grass on the edge they were catching. I thought maybe it was grass up top. I took the grass they were landing on off, which I may actually put back in now that I discovered the actual problem. And, that'll make it easier for them to regrow their wool. But I did a lot of things, and I even got down to the bare minimum of things around here, and I still had sheep that would get stuck. And the problem was the switch was over here. I could never get over to find out exactly what the reason was, just that things would get stuck and wouldn't work. And the problem was the pistons would retract and then extend too fast, and it would actually catch the sheep here and stop them from making it up. And then they'd start to build up, and the whole system would get fouled, and I'd have to breed. It was a pain. I literally tell you, I was on this today for probably 7 hours. I've been working on trying to make this 100%, because even if one messes up, eventually they all mess up, and your entire crop of sheep are out of order. You have to kill them and rebreed them. And the problem is right now this is okay, but once the system goes full, I can't have those there anymore. So I can have a couple maybe over here, probably in this area for some possible problems, but I'm not gonna have the full, and that's gonna be so yeah. Anyway, so I'm working hard and realized that I needed a longer pulse. So I found a way to make a nice little compact pulse lengthener, which I'll show that real fast. Uh, which is really simple. Normally you'd have that second or that repeater here, inline here, but I had to put it over in this spot to prevent that redstone from jumping up. Um, these two here are set at 3 ticks or the second position, and this one's at none. So when it comes in, it comes around here. It's got the normal little bit of delay before it powers it, and then this, it sticks for a while. By the time these ones make it all the way through, they start to power it and tell it doesn't. I normally explain things better, but just to understand that uh, it's going to be powered for the entire delay of these two because of the way this is set up. So it ends up making a longer pulse. The byproduct of that, which actually was really kind of nice, because this completely solved. I don't need my timer anymore. Because of that, when they come through this detect rail and trip it, they get to the top and they've already dropped down before it even retracts. So they actually move forward. So there's no longer a gap. This thing, as soon as I turn it on, constantly running over and over and over. So I fixed my delay problem. So basically, all I got to do now, I'll turn this off and I'll show you this in action. Turn on this. This again, this is our on-off switch. It's just same as over here. I was just getting tired of running in and out of here. So we turn that on, and then all we got to do is flip this switch on, and you'll see there's a little bit of delay. There they all go. We'll come over here, take a peek. You can see everybody's in the position they want to be, and then we'll come over here to watch this guy. You can see he hits the detector rail, drops down and lands. He makes it. The delay is long enough that he actually moves on to the second position instead of getting stuck up there. So when he comes back, it's just going to keep doing it. So now they will go over and over and over indefinitely. And again, like I said, I may go back and put my grass block and try this out. But at least I know for sure right now this will work. And I know they can eat while they're moving, so once I get grass here, I have a decent shot of them, at least for growing their wool on the way back and forth. But if I can get that one and put in some of my side grass blocks, then we'll actually be in a good position. Moment of truth here. So to the best of my knowledge, these are now both set up the same as our first one with the delay, only it still has our grass blocks. And then I got a few blocks on the side to help regrow the grass after it gets eaten by the sheep. So we'll find out for sure if my delay or the pulse extender is enough to allow the grass block to still work, which I hope it does, because that will make things a whole lot easier. So you can see all 4 of these right now are in the configuration to allow them to travel as far back as we want. So one at a time, I'm going to go ahead and fire each one of these off, and then we'll watch it, and hopefully this works. I haven't tried this out myself yet. I figured we'll test this all together. So we'll go ahead and flip the on switch, and then we'll go with the Bay one, which we know has worked before, so I'm figuring it should still work. And I think I'll let like 2 sheep go, and then I'll go turn it off, and then we'll move on to the yellow dyed sheep and see how they work out. But yep, looks good. So we'll go ahead and turn this on-off switch to off, so this one will get stored back in its bay. Alrighty, turn you off, and now we'll turn you back on. And we'll go to yellow. Okay, that's in the right position already. Uh-oh. Problem. Crap. Turn you off. I'm going to kill them all unless I don't get up there quick. How did I miss that? Yep, you all died. What the heck? Oh. What on earth happened? Hmm. Alright, well, give me a sec. I'm gonna reset. We'll try this again. The glass block's missing. Well, I turned those ones into glass. It started out as grass, and I think while I was moving those, I took out this block. So basically, instead of hitting the block and dropping down, like these ones did, they all went underneath and suffocated. Awesome. I probably don't want. Yeah. And we'll break some glass while we're at it too. Alright, yep, I'm gonna go fix this, clean it up, and I'll be right back. Alright, take two. You see I cleared up the ceiling there, so now all of these, and I'll go back once to make sure I didn't miss any. So we got a glass block above each spot here, so sorry as I walk back. I probably should have did this before I started recording, but anyway. Alright, so good. So we have the glass block there, plus I got rid of a lot of the other stuff so it looks a little better. I may go ahead and put some pumpkins up there too. I just got to get, figure out where the spots are on the grass up there, because it's only like one row of grass between the ceiling and the sky. So I just know where to put this block down here, so that when I remove that, I can put in the pumpkin, and then I can remove those blocks, and then we'll have the light up there. But anyway, let's go ahead and turn you back off. Come back around here. Alright, switch is on. Here we go. Go yellow sheep. Alright, that looks good. Man, that was embarrassing. Well, not as much embarrassing as just annoying too, having to go back and do the whole thing again. And why did you not advance? Okay, something having to do with the block detector didn't work. Let's see. What about the output? Maybe that's the problem. That is the problem. Goodness. That would help. Which means I didn't do the same thing over here either. Alright. Well, that was fun. So now we'll head back up and try this again. Alrighty. Turn you off. Oh, I guess I could have just left you on. Alright, here we go. Take 3. Alright, looks good so far. You all dropped. You did too. So far, so good. The grass blocks aren't causing issues. He's making it around to the pod that he's supposed to. Okay, there we go. That's 2 runs through. Almost fell in the hole. So far, no problems, no problems. Again, there he goes. He drops down. Alright, okay, this is working. And like I was saying before, this is over and over and over. If you wonder what this is, on the way back, I had to have this, like I said, to make sure that they didn't end up in that. So I had this, so I had to kind of run it. It's a little bit ugly. I just don't have the space underneath to run it directly underneath it. So, and that's okay, because like I said, technically this is all going to be work area, even though it's going to look kind of cool with all the colored sheep. It's still a work area. Alright. Pod 2 is functioning properly. Okay. Red sheep. Here we go. And okay. Uh, Alright. What was the cause of this problem? Alright. Attention to detail. So if you look over here, and I imagine looking back, I'll probably see it as well. Full delay, full delay. This one wasn't on full delay. Had no delay. Completely messed up the timing on the initial pulse that starts this. So instead of actually having a long pulse, it was a yeah, it wasn't enough, and then the pistons closed immediately. Didn't give them enough time to move. It was catching, but you know, in the process of figuring that out, I ended up cleaning up the rest of it so they kind of matches now. And I do know that the grass works. I've only got grass at these points, which means I'm probably going to have to go in and get some grass blocks for that. Unless it grows down to here. I'll give it some time and see what happens. Like these ones did grow, so I think it will over time. But it works. So we'll go ahead and flip this switch here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and we'll flip it over here so we can do the full. Make sure everything's good. Alrighty. 1, 2, 3. Alright, there we go. And bay number 3 now in full effect. But it's funny. Like I said, it's attention to detail. I thought everything was identical, but you know, all it takes is one repeater not set to the right settings, and then all of a sudden, got problems. So, this works. This is good. So, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to turn this off, and it is now time to start working on the shearing bay. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started on our shearing bay. This is where I had it going into because that's where the hole in the wall was, but this I think is where it's actually going to go. So like I was saying, we'll be able to come into here and there'll be glass going up here because this is where the block dispenser is going to be. We'll have powered rail there, and I think our detector rail was here. We'll have our repeaters going this way, coming back around into here. I'm going to have to do some digging around. And I hadn't fully gone all the way through here yet with my power wire, the on-off switch power wire, which gets from whichever one it's under. Because I had a feeling I might be needing to do some stuff under here to make this all fit. And I may still have to go out like another block or something, just because I don't want to interfere with like the stairs or anything like that. But, and then of course this will be where we have the obsidian pipe and then pipes coming underneath, and then I'll have to figure out how I want to put my chests over for these. I'll have to kind of make some kind of collection point and some, well, I'll figure that out later. Biggest thing is to get this thing running. So I think the one bit of powered rail will be enough to get it over here, and I should probably put one on either side, so regardless of which direction it heads, it'll get powered again at that point. I'll get rid of that now. Alright, I'll get more into the fine-tuning of the railing as we go. Let's see, I need repeaters now. And I'm pretty sure I got like a screenshot to try and remember exactly how I did this, but we'll go from memory first. But the big thing is I'm pretty sure it was like full delays on this, trying to make sure that It didn't power it until it was in there for a little bit. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna have to look at this again real fast. Hold on. Alright, I figured we'd come over here, take a quick look at this once again before we go back. So, first off, it's a one closer, so I didn't have to be quite as far away. Second, these are all 2-tick delays. Which I didn't. That's all it is. I definitely don't even need this many repeaters. So it's like 5 ticks or 10 ticks. But anyway, that comes through here, goes into the block underneath, which will power this. But we also have it coming over here into our pulse lengthener, which the reason for the pulse lengthener is we want the power to be off for for a little while. We don't want it to put the block back out before the we have a chance for this to suck the wool out of there through the intake pipe. So we're gonna leave it off for a little bit, and then by the time it powers back on, the block will be gone, and we are good to go. And then this part is just rather simple, just routing it over here to the fire, the stoked stewing pot. That's right, I turned my animations off. It looks weird. Alright, so I know what I need to know, so now we can head back and get back to work. Alright, looks like our 3-parter is now a 4-parter. I've recorded the whole thing, everything. Well, I'll leave the ending to our next episode, but I will say that it's definitely been quite the adventure. But we're gonna go ahead and end this episode here. This will be probably the shortest of all 4 episodes, and then the final episode will be another long one. But I found that I was editing just too much stuff out. I just wasn't liking how much I was having to skip and delete and edit, and I really wanted to kind of have it flow a little better. So I just decided to go ahead and, like I said, make this a 4-parter then. So I'm editing both of these at the same time. I'll probably upload them about 2 days apart. So expect episode 4 of this to come out shortly after you see this one. So with that, thank you for watching, and as always, please rate, comment, and subscribe. My golem will come beat you up if you don't. No, just kidding. um, I just appreciate the the likes that you give or the comments that you give, and even just saying hi, and also subscribe for all the future episodes, including episode 34, which should be coming out to a YouTube page near you. Alright, well, as always, ooh, don't look at that. Don't look at that. It wasn't there, you didn't see it. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.